And we're back. Thank you for listening to Real Estate Radio with Damon Gettier. I'm Brett Sharp. He's Damon Gettier, owner and founder of Damon Gettier and Associates Realtors, powered by Real, now top 20 in the nation. And then not just the nation. Where else did you say? Canada and what?
U.S. and Canada.
U.S. and Canada.
Yes, sir.
Top 20 team in all of U.S. and Canada. That's saying something. Can we go back to the grab bag?
Sure.
More listener questions? Sure. This one comes from Brianna, who listens to the show. It says, Damon, how do you handle buyer interest that may come from outside of the immediate geographical area? That's a good question. So how do they find you, for one? But
I'd say about half of our business comes local and half of our business is not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that means people coming from outside the market in, or people moving from here to outside the market?
Oh, I'm talking about people moving outside in.
Okay.
Like it's a pretty good mix of both, but I'd say half of our business comes from people moving to the market.
Do they come from California and New York?
We have some come from California. We have a lot of halfbacks. So they go from California, Jersey to Florida, and they realize that's hotter than 7 shades of you know what.
Yeah.
So they move halfway back, and they end up here.
Gotcha.
We get a lot of people from Colorado for some reason. I don't know why, but we get a lot of people from Colorado.
Kind of have mountains. Not their kind of mountains, but...
Not their kind. We don't have their cold either, though. We get a good amount from Texas also, and I think Texas just because it does have a large population. It's just a big part of the country, you know. But so we have a significant flow back and forth from people out of the area. And so when you ask, how do we handle buyer interest? So we do a lot of virtual showings. We do a lot of private Facebook groups. And if any real estate agents are listening, here's a hint for you.
The other thing is you have you know a lot of people outside this market. You and I deal with a lot of other real estate agents outside the market.
By my real estate network, it really is a small world outside of Roanoke, Virginia. It really is a small world, you know, and I think Zoom and social media has made it smaller to where, you know, sometimes I'll meet somebody that I've talked to for 8 years via social media or Zoom and meet them for the first time face to face and feel like I've known them and met them the whole time. But anyway, so when you ask about, you know, what do we do? So if someone's moving here from Colorado, from, you know, Texas, wherever, let's just say somebody's coming from Texas, they are interested in buying a house. And you remember 10 years ago when we had 8 months of inventory on the market and you were looking for an average house in Roanoke. Well, let's take Jay when Jay moved here. Jay moved here from Florida, I think. When Jay came here from Florida, he wanted to see houses and his criteria was, I don't want to spend more than $200,000 and, you know, I want to be in Roanoke County. So I showed him 37 houses.
Dang.
That matched the criteria. Today, that'd probably be 4.
Wow. There's still that.
Yeah, there's not much inventory. So the difference is between then and now is then you had to go physically show him that, or you'd have to take pictures of it and send him. And picture really doesn't tell 1,000 words. I mean, a picture, especially with wide angle lenses, picture's not everything. So what we do is we do private Facebook groups. So we do a private Facebook group with the person in Texas, and we do a Facebook Live into that group. Okay. And that way they can watch it Facebook Live, or they can go back tonight and watch it with their husband, significant wife, significant other, whatever.
Yeah.
They can comment back, well, what about this? What about this? Did you see this? Do that? And I'm not going to say we're better than anybody else, but I think we try to do a better job. Our job isn't just to walk around the house and say, oh, this is the master bedroom, and this is the bathroom, and this is the kitchen. When we're in there, we're pointing out stuff. We're looking for stuff. We're looking for good and bad. Yep. All same steel appliances, all same brand, because you really can't tell that with the video flashing through. There is a water spot up here in this corner right here. You know, if you decide you want this, we'll make sure the home inspector takes a look at that. So you're pointing out the pluses and minuses. Something that pictures intentionally leave out. Marketing pictures intentionally leave out defects or deficiencies. Okay. Videos, some agents might not point that out, might not show it because they want to sell it. We want them to be happy with their home.
Yeah.
And so we try to do that video. We try to walk them through it. And I'll give you a real rough example. We just bought a house. Jay and I just bought a house probably 3 weeks ago. A lady bought, I'm trying to remember where she came from. I don't know where she came from. She came from somewhere. And she bought a sight unseen. Not through us. Not through us. Okay. She asked the agent a bunch of questions. She says her side of the story. She asked the agent a bunch of questions. They assured her 95 things. She buys the house, goes to it to walk through it, and called us and asked us to buy it.
Because what?
She's not living in that house. There's nothing that was portrayed to her. The pictures didn't show A, B, C, D, E, F. You know, the agent told her it did this and it didn't. Now, this is her side of the story. I don't know.
Right.
But literally, she bought the house, and the next day we bought the house.
Wow.
She was not going to live there.
Yeah.
And so we try to avoid that situation. We have sold houses before that people are like, oh my God, you know, the pictures made it look a whole lot bigger than it really is. Because look, the photographers use wide angle lenses.
Yeah.
Like, don't think they don't. they do. Their job is to market it their job is to get feet in the doors. Okay. When your feet don't go in the door, it's really hard to know what it actually feels like. So we try to give that. We use video to a large degree.
Yeah, and one thing I can say about Damon is that he keeps up with what's happening, even nationally. Just pulling the curtain all the way back, Damon and I own our own advertising agency, and we work with real estate agents outside of this market. What surprised me about you was the number of real estate agents, and I know you didn't have time for it and you're focusing on your own business, but the number of agents in large markets that paid you to coach them how to do their real estate company.
Yep. Well, this is one thing I learned. If you can be successful, make money in a market with our sales price, because our sales price, just so everybody thinks our sales price is bad. It ain't bad, is it, Brett?
Nope.
I mean, nope. It's not bad.
No.
Like our sales price is not bad.
Everybody thinks that the prices here are too overpriced. They're not.
Yeah. We'll go to Washington State and average sales price there is about $900,000. Oregon's like $600,000.
Birmingham was like $750,000, I think, in Birmingham.
Yep. I mean, it's just horrible. Atlanta was, oh my gosh. So anyway, if you can make money in this market, you can make money in any market. And so, I did coach agents. One time I coached 14 agents that all of them sold more than 300 houses each per year.
And these are big markets.
Yeah, they're big markets.
We're in a small market. Roanoke, Lynchburg, New River Valley is a smaller market comparatively.
Yeah, it's not top 100.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, I don't know where you were going with on that.
Well, I was just saying that, we were talking about people coming from other markets. You know about people coming from other markets because you deal with those real estate agents.
It is. And the one thing we also do, so we refer a lot of business out. We refer a lot of business to other agents. And how a typical agent refers business out is they get on the Google and they say, okay, I've got this person that's going to move to Memphis. Let me Google and see how I'm going to get them to go to Memphis. I've got 2 friends in Memphis.
Yeah. We've got clients in Memphis.
Yeah, we got clients in Memphis. Someone says, what about Snohomish, Washington? I'm like, oh, okay, I got Mike and Rachel in Snohomish, Washington. You know, and it's like, there's not many markets in this country that if someone says, hey, I'm moving there, I don't have a friend there.
Yeah.
And it truly is a small world for as big as it is.
Yeah, it is. How about Dave here? Dave listens to the show. It says, Damon, if you could only recommend 2 high return on investment upgrades or repairs before listing, what would they be and why? If you could only recommend 2 high ROI upgrades or repairs, what would they be?
Well, if I had to, it's all going to depend on the house.
Yeah, that's a pretty,
there
are a lot of variables.
A lot of variables. So number 1, I would say landscape your yard. And I'm going to say pay thousands landscape. You know what I'm saying? Trim your bushes, put mulch down. Number 2 would be paint your house. Number 3 would be like, please let your appliances match. Like, just please let your appliances match.
Getting ready to rent mine. Do I need to do that for a rental?
No, not for a rental.
Okay.
Because a tenant's not going to take the utmost care of them anyway. So, yeah.
Dang, that was a new range I just put in there, too.
Nobody says you got to leave it.
I know.
Swap it out. Next would probably be carpet or flooring, like those.
Make sure the floor's in good shape.
Yeah, but the thing is this: if a buyer's going to replace flooring, they can't move in. Like, it's got to be done before they move in.
Right.
So it's kind of like you're taking a huge pain point out. If the hardwoods need to be refinished, and you can refinish them because otherwise the buyer's got to buy it and then they can't move in, because if they move in, they got to move out to get the hardwoods refinished. So that would be like 3rd or 4th on the list, probably 4th on the list. But I would do outside, curb appeal, paint, inside, appliances, flooring.
Okay. Beth wrote in, says, Damon, given the typical buyers for a home
Hold on, one other thing.
What?
The roof. If your roof's bad, just
figure it out.
Call my boy Jason at Vinton Roofing. Okay, he'll take care of you. He's a good guy. We use him on all of our roofs. Like, he really is a good guy. Okay, his company's good. They don't use a nail gun. They use a hammer and a nail. And everybody says it doesn't make a difference. It makes a huge difference. Like, call Jason at Vinton Roofing.
What if they're single pane windows? Do you have a guy for that?
Well, yeah, there's window guys.
Those window guys. Okay, call them. All right.
So just so you know, you ever met Mario and Avery?
No.
Mario has worked for that company for 18 years. And I think
those window guys?
Okay. And Avery's probably 15 years. Good guys. They're good guys.
Gotcha.
They don't sub it out. It ain't Lowe's, y'all.
And I got time for one more question here. Beth wrote in and says, given the typical buyers for a home like mine, how critical is professional staging versus simply decluttering and depersonalizing? That's a good question. Do you
It's
stage?
a very good question, except I don't know what Beth's house looks like. So let's just go with an average house in Roanoke. Roanoke. Average house in Roanoke, I would not professionally stage. I wouldn't. I wouldn't professionally stage anything.
It's not going to get you that much more money and the time and effort and cost.
If you declutter, which everybody should declutter.
Yeah.
Like what I tell people is go through the house and look at, have you used it in the last year? Or are you going to use it the next year? If you're not, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. I don't mean put it in storage. I mean, unless it means something to you, get rid of it. Gone. Then everything that means something to you, if you haven't used it in the last year, you're not going to use it the next year, put it in a tote and get it out of the house. Go to storage. And there's like all kinds of self-storage popping up all over Roanoke. So put it in self-storage somewhere. Get it out of the house.
Yeah.
So declutter. I don't agree with the depersonalize unless you really overly personalize.
Yeah.
And the reason is this: when people walk into a house, they want it to be a home. And when they don't see pictures and they don't see anything personal effects, it doesn't feel like a home. It feels sterile, and sterile doesn't feel good. I don't know how many clients I've walked into a house and they will say, these people are getting a divorce. They can feel it.
Yeah.
Especially when you walk in the closet and her clothes are theirs and his are not.
Yeah.
Or all the photos, like online, you can see it's owned by, Brett in Virginia. But then when they go in the house, it's only pictures of Brett, Noah, and Kyler. And they're like, Kyson, sorry. And they're like, I did it again. And they're like, oh, they're getting a divorce. And there's a large portion of the population that will not buy that house.
Yeah.
They think it's just got bad juju.
The house Hannah and I bought, my wife and I bought, the walls were all white, completely white. And I had heard that was a good thing because people can see the putting their own spin on it. And all I saw was, oh man, I got a lot of paint to do.
I think all white is depressing.
Yeah.
It's sterile. It's sterile. I mean, nobody wants that high school cafeteria. Nobody wants the hospital. They want a home. And so like every single house we flip has either a light gray or a taupe color on the walls and white trim. Every single one. We've never flipped. Christine, you ever seen us flip a house with white walls? No, every single one's got color because it makes it pop.
Yeah.
It makes it feel homey. It makes it feel loved.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Listwithdamon.com. If you have questions about listing your home, get a hold of Damon Gettier and his crew. Listwithdamon.com. That's listwithdamon.com.